Happy November. We're kicking the month off with a movie that somehow made 2.5 hours of staring at the desert visually breathtaking. Dune. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
And this is episode 28 of our podcast. We used to talk about this at work. All right, it is a new month, Matt. November. I'm feeling it. Autumn is here and it's making me cold, and I'm turning up the heat in my house, and Bill's just ridiculous, man.
Man, I love this time. I'm all about the hoodie weather. I got so many hoodies I've been wanting to break out, and not that sneaky weather, it'd be really cold in the morning when you go to work. Mm-hmm. So you put a jacket or coat on, and then like 10 o'clock, it's like 80 degrees outside. I don't like that. I want to keep my hoodie on all day, every day.
I understand those feelings, Matt. So we have a guest this week who I'd like to know if they enjoy hoodie weather. We'd like to welcome on the podcast, Sharon.
Hi, I do love hoodie weather, and I love the overcast days that everyone complains about with the drizzle and the very gray, bleak skies. I love that crap.
Me too. I like just staying at home in general.
Who doesn't?
Me.
Oh, you don't like staying at home?
No. Had enough of that.
That's fair. I'm not going to get into it. Because, don't want to hear about how Matt is an essential worker. And he's been going into work every day to make sure we have the supplies we need so we can work from home and all that jazz.
I thought you would say you're not going to talk about it because we talk about COVID shit on every episode.
That too. So, yeah. So, like I said, this week's guest is Sharon. Who are you, Sharon? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a movie enthusiast. I am also a fiction writer, and I am a friend of Chad.
Fiction writer? What kind of stuff do you write?
Well, I am working on a novel set in a prison right now, actually. So I have been doing a lot of research about all kinds of stuff that I probably shouldn't just be leaving sitting in my browser history, but I'm kind of lazy, so I do. But I've learned all kinds of things about prisons and how people sneak things in and out of prisons and prison currencies. And it's just very fascinating things to read about.
Is this like a more lighthearted prison movie like a Orange is the New Black, or is it more gritty prison like Oz?
Well, I've seen Orange is the New Black. I have not seen Oz. So I'm going to guess maybe somewhere halfway between them. So I like to think of it as a dark comedy, but I'm still in process. I'm still figuring some things out. So it's very much a work in progress, and it's a little messy still.
Okay, yeah. Oz was a TV show on HBO about yeah, it's a good show.
Heard of it, never seen it.
Yeah.
Very dark. So, Matt, what have you been watching this week, man?
Oh, jumping the gun, slow down. Let's back it up a little bit.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you guys heard about that story about that hiker in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
And this story, when I read it,
if I didn't know this story, can you inform me? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, I'll get there. So, but when I read the headline, it touched my soul. It touched my heart. I've never met somebody or read about somebody who were like, you feel you have so much in common with off something so little. So, backstory: this hiker hiking in the forest gets lost. So then, the park rangers or whatever were looking for this person, calling this person, couldn't get an answer. So then 24 hours later, this hiker meets back up and was like, where you been? We've been trying to call you, this, and this. And he was like, well, because I don't answer numbers, I don't know. And I love that story so much because I do not answer. If it's just some random number, I'm not answering, even if I'm lost in the woods for 24 hours.
So I saw a meme about that, but I didn't know there was anything real about it. I just thought they were making a joke.
Nope.
True story.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't like dire. It wasn't like he was in there for like a week. It was only 24 hours. So he figured, hey, I can find my way out of here. But I'm still not gonna answer these numbers I don't know.
So, Matt, how long would you have to be lost in some random forest with your supplies dwindling for you to answer an unrecognizable number? Let's pretend your phone's going to keep its charge for philosophical purposes. You're just going to die over this?
Well, no, we're not gonna go that far, but I have to think there would be a limit. Give me a couple days. I mean, I could probably a couple days. So I'm like, if they could text me, at least leave a. I mean, if they're gonna call me, leave a voice message. Let me know. Don't just call and then hang up. Because if I'm lost in the woods, I'm trying to keep my focus on stuff. I ain't worried about if you're trying to call to extend my car warranty or some weird thing like that where I'm trying to survive. So yeah, just if you want to, the park ranger should have left a voice message or texted him.
So where do you stand on this, Sharon? Are you a person that doesn't answer phone numbers saved in your phone?
It depends a little bit. I sometimes will. If it's too close to my number, I assume it's fake because they mimic your number sometimes. So I don't answer those. Or if it says spam risk, I don't. If I were lost and I knew I was lost, I might answer when I wouldn't ordinarily answer, because that's like an easy button. I could sit around here. I could try and figure out how to survive. I could be bored and thirsty. Or I could see if this asshole trying to reach me about my warranty will help me. I mean, they're people.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they may be calling me about something I don't care about, or they may be pretending to be Social Security and trying to scam me, but maybe they'll send someone my way if that's what I need. I'm a little confused if this person knew they were lost or if they were just late and spacey.
No, they said they were lost, but it wasn't like lost, like I don't know where to go. Like this person was lost, but like in their mind, they were like, oh, I've got to take this trail or I got to take this trail. So they didn't, it wasn't like, fuck, I've got to set up camp here. I don't know where to go from here. This person just kept thinking that they was going to figure where they would need to be at.
Gotcha. Well, I can't fucking stand people like that. So apparently I hate you, man, because every fucking number that comes on my phone, I answer it. Because you never know. You just never know. What if it's somebody in need and they had to borrow a phone or something? You just don't know.
You living dangerously.
I'm living dangerously. You living dangerously. You letting shit sit on the table. People could be hurt out here.
Then text me or leave a voice message.
It's sometimes you got to have that voice to voice contact.
I will if I know. Once I know who it is, we can have that voice to voice.
I don't care if it's someone who might be hurt. I'm a woman. My mom raised me that, as a woman, you don't just put yourself in a situation to help anyone just because they look like they need help. That's how Ted Bundy got a bunch of his victims, by wearing fake casts and acting all helpless. And
so it's funny you say that, like going to help people. So we're getting off track now, but it was one day I was leaving Target and I was walking on my way and I saw like a cluster of women standing like by a car with the hood up, and I'm like, shit, don't make eye contact, because it was clear that their car was like disabled in some way and they needed some help. And I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do car shit. So I'm just trying to, have my strong stride and stuff, but they flagged me down. They fucking got me. They saw like, oh, hey, do you know how to jump a car? And I was like, yeah, red is positive and black is negative, because the racial connotations. And so I helped them out. But I was nervous. I was about to blow that fucking car up.
All right. Two things. First is, what year was this?
This was this year. This was like 3-4 months ago.
Did they have jumper cables?
Yeah, they had jumper cables.
Why the fuck wouldn't they just Google this?
I was just gonna say, do you have a signal? That's really
then my next question was, Chad, was why didn't you Google this?
Yeah,
I had a general idea because of the racism, right? Red is positive, but the black is negative. So
But-
I had that going for me.
But your blood is red. That's a positive inside of you.
That's what I just said. Black is negative.
Right. But you said red is positive. But I'm letting you know that you positive too, because you got red inside of you. You got the blood inside of you.
You saying I'm black and red.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm very confused. I apologize. But I'm a negative person. Yeah.
But you're gonna help these random people. Didn't you hear that story about that dude who helped these two women on the side of the road change a tire? And then they was like, "Oh yeah, thank you so much. We're going to this party," and they drugged and robbed him
because he thought he was gonna have some sex.
Well, I mean, might think the same thing if two women was there. They was like, "Let's go back to my house." I'm like, "Oh, job well done. Now here's my thank you." So then I figured that might be part of the transaction.
Why are there not more women serial killers out there? It sounds like it is so much easier for us.
Yeah, it is. It is so easy to get a man by himself.
I'm just saying, why don't more women realize that all we have to do?
I mean, there was Monster. Remember Monster?
I've not seen it. I remember hearing about it, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying there are very few careers that are very naturally easier for women.
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm just saying, this is like, why don't more women realize this?
I mean, there are plenty of female grifters.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about here, though.
I guess they're like, it's no need to kill them. We just need to rob them. Rob them, get whatever we need, and they can go about their merry way. There's no point of there's no need to kill them.
A lot of women are practical. Women are practical in nature overall, I think. That could be it.
Because remember that movie Hustlers with Jennifer Lopez, where they were robbing those dudes, but they're not going to report it because what are you going to say? Some women robbed you? So, but if you kill them, then there's an investigation.
Yeah.
Right. And also it deals with how much you take from them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, because if women could, they could do a lot. Like I just remember back when I was single, where like a woman's simple compliment will make me think, she's trying to fuck. Cause like it should be something similar. Oh, you smell good today. What's that cologne? And I'll say whatever. And I'm thinking later on, I'm thinking, is she trying to fuck? She's just being nice.
Why not both?
Exactly. See, so I don't know. So I got to keep those options on the table. I can't miss. That might have been a sign. That might have been a tell, and I got to take I don't know which one it is. I just got to keep it in my pocket just in case.
I understand.
I don't think I'm ever giving a man a compliment again.
You really shouldn't. Right. Like you should not give us any fucking compliments because we're just gonna take that shit to the moon.
I see that, man.
Because at work, an older lady was like, you got new glasses. You got cute eyes. and of course I was like this. Lady kind of fuck. All right. So
let me explore this.
Well, no, I mean I took it as a compliment, but in my head I thought, is she trying to fuck? Maybe not. Who knows? If anything changes, I'll let you guys know.
All right. Do you want me, when you do fuck this old lady, do you want me to keep that in the podcast?
Yeah, keep this in the podcast just in case if we do fuck, she robs and drugs me, we could use this as evidence later on.
No, I was never gonna edit this part out. I'm like, when you do sleep with this woman, do you want me to edit that out?
If she robs and drugs me, yes, because I don't need that thing. But if she doesn't rob and drug me, edit that shit out. We don't need people to know what I'm doing.
I don't need you embarrassed out here, all right, brother. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
Right. They go. I was thinking they're like, he married and he talking about fucking women on this podcast.
Hey, we're 28 episodes in. You know, we're getting wild and loose with this shit. All right.
I keep my podcast life and my marriage life separate. All right. This is two different things.
Fair enough.
Oh, and transition to something else. Netflix recommendation. And this is a movie's old from 2019. It's called Jexi. Have you guys heard of it?
Is this animated?
Adam
Devine. Yeah. It's like a Alexa type thing.
Yeah, his phone is real, I guess. Like it's a real.
It's sentient.
Yeah, basically, it's a phone's alive, and it's a comedy. It's hilarious. It's just basically about his phone. Like he's like, one of those people who stay on the phone all day. They don't interact with anybody, stuff like that. And she's there to help him do everything, but then she takes over. Like one of the first things is he was like, he wants to order some food from this restaurant. And she was like, no, you're getting fat. You need to order this salad. He was like, no, I want this noodles. And she was like, ordering salad from this restaurant. And then he got the salad and ordered it.
It's really important to eat your vegetables.
Right. So it's just, I highly recommend it. But one part is Ron Funches. Do you know who this is?
I do. He is the voice of King Shark on Harley Quinn. Yes,
he was also in this movie. I like his voice. He has a very soothing voice.
I love his voice. Like, did you know that he too has a podcast that is like 1 billion times more popular than ours because he's a celebrity?
I did not know this.
So I was listening to one of his episodes. So I was like, is that a voice that he does, or is that his real voice? And that's his real voice. And that's hilarious. That is hilarious that is his real voice.
Right. Why is he not in more stuff? I really like his voice is common and comedic at the same time.
It so is. Are you familiar with the person we're talking about, Sharon?
I am not, but I will be by tomorrow.
That's funny.
Yes, it's I even tweeted him. I tweeted, well, I tag tweeted him about how his voice is so smooth, soothing, and why he's not in more stuff.
That's funny. Did he respond?
I'm waiting for it.
No. Also, did you use your Twitter or did you use the podcast's Twitter? Because we need some shine out here.
I use my Twitter. But don't worry, if he responds back, I'm gonna tell him, hey, I talked about you on our podcast, and then I'll tag all our stuff.
Always be plugging, man.
I tweeted at Mindy Kaling once, and she tweeted back at me.
What?
Who?
Mindy, the Indian girl from The Office.
Oh, really?
Yes. So she had her remake of 4 Weddings and a Funeral. And the funeral was very similar to me losing someone when I was a kid. And I tweeted at her that I couldn't make it through the show because I was crying. And I never thought I would see that moment in my life on TV and how beautiful it was. And she tweeted back how much it meant to her. And I think I deserve some kind of adulting prize for not printing it out and wallpapering my house with it.
I fucking would have did that.
But I was gonna say, I'll do the same thing. I'll print that off.
And I'm just saying that the thing that I tweeted her about is very similar to what she did with Never Have I Ever. So I'm just saying,
Have you seen that, Matt?
Mm-mm.
I hear it's good, but I haven't seen it myself.
It's very funny.
How long ago was this?
It was right before she made Never Have I Ever. So I'm just saying there's a little bit of an inspiration there I'm going to take credit for.
Right. And then also you'd be like, hey, remember when you commented on my tweet? Well, I'm a writer, and then get that connection.
Right. So 4 Weddings and a Funeral came out in 2019. So fairly recently, pre-pandemic.
Yeah, it's hard to tell in today's world how long ago something actually happened. That's another one you should see if you haven't seen it.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I hear that show's pretty good though.
It's a wonderful, wonderful remake.
Oh, that's on Hulu. Yes. Never Have I Ever is on Netflix. So I watched a whole bunch of stuff this weekend, guys. So I'm going to do a real quick rundown. So the first thing is The Premise on Hulu. It is 5 episodes. Speaking of Mindy Kaling, this is a show hosted by and executive produced by and directed by BJ Novak, who's also from The Office, and they dated for a while, and also is heavily rumored that he is the father of her children, but we don't have to talk about that right now.
Hold on. I'm looking this up. I've seen this. I've seen the first season of Never Have I Ever.
Oh.
I didn't know that was the name of it.
Did you like it?
I didn't know there was a season 2.
Netflix, they'll just drop a season of something and not even tell you.
Right. Okay. All right. My bad. But yeah, I just looked it up. So yeah, I've seen season 1 of that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the premise, like, I absolutely hate it when people refer to anthology shows as it's Black Mirror, but it's Black Mirror, but for social justice. The first episode of the show is called Social Justice Sex Tape.
You got my attention with a title like that.
And so it's one of those situations where the police lie on a black man. They say that he attacked them, but the police officer actually tripped, and he basically said the guy beat him up. And the thing that potentially could get him off is that a guy and his girlfriend filmed a sex tape. And in the background, if you zoom in, like look out the window, you can see the police encounter. And so it's the show's a comedy. And so stuff just gets more and more ridiculous, like with the guy, like it's a white guy, one of those like white guys that's really here for social justice, like he's not here to, profit off of, the gentrification of the neighborhood that he moved into. And he's not just liking stuff and retweeting stuff on Twitter, but that's really all he does. He's one of those kind of people. And so he's like, I'm gonna just send them a screenshot of this, clearly showing that this man is off the hook. And then that's all. But the lawyers are like, no, we need the whole tape. We're gonna have to play the whole tape in the video in court. We're gonna have to subpoena the woman you were having sex with. And then like the prosecutors, they hit him hard. And so they end up having to bring up his whole sexual history in court. And then somebody leaks information. So like he becomes like a meme because like he has like sex really weird. And so it's pretty funny and poignant. It's a good little show. It's got a lot of like actors that you're like, oh shit, you're in this. Like the guy with the sex tape, it was the Dear Evan Hansen guy. I forget his name. Tracy Ellis Ross is on the show. It's in that episode. There's another episode about like the NRA and like gun violence with John Barathol of all people, who played Punisher on Netflix.
Oh, I just looked it up, and episode 5 is called Butt Plug.
Yeah, it's not that one's not funny, but it's probably the best episode. It's like really good. It's like about like bullying. And it's got Daniel Day Kim, for anybody that's seen Lost or Hawaii Five-0. But yeah, it's a pretty decent show. Like it's 5 episodes, about 20 or so minutes, 20 to 30 minutes long. Like it's not gonna hurt anything to check it out. It's a pretty decent little show.
Okay. And it's on
Hulu.
Okay.
And this next one is also on Hulu. Only Murderers on the Building. Joe brought it up a couple of weeks ago. I'm 5 episodes in. What have you started it, Matt?
No.
Have you seen it, Sharon?
I've seen the first episode. I started too fast. I started before there was more than one.
Oh yeah, because the show came out week to week.
Like a fool, I just watched an episode when I couldn't keep going. But I'm going to start again now that they're all there. The way God intended to watch TV.
Right. The way Netflix set it up, and then everybody else wants to be the anti-Netflix, but it's pretty good. I wish there was more podcast stuff in it. Like there's I sent the clip to both of you. Like there's a clip where Steve Martin and Martin Short are bragging about having a podcast, the two guys. And then they're like, oh yeah, we have a podcast too. And they're like, oh, that's cute. And they're like, yeah, we got like 60,000 subscribers. Like we had the top podcast on like iTunes and Spotify. And they're like, oh, okay.
So this is about a podcast?
Yeah. That's why
not the way
that's why they are making a podcast about a murder. Like they're making a true crime podcast.
Because when we talked about it before, I thought maybe I misunderstood what it was about. Okay, I got you now.
What did you think it was about?
About a murder in a building and people trying to solve it.
Yes, but they're solving it through the lens of let's make a podcast about it.
They're podcasting their way through this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't get that part. All right, I understand now.
But what I do really appreciate is that you don't act like you see them like recording stuff to the podcast, but you don't really hear what the finished product sounds like because like they're like sporadically like recording stuff because it's interview based, so it's not all going to be linear. And so like I do like that. Like on certain shows where it's like, oh yeah, this is about like a Saturday Night Live type situation where you're behind the scenes and you have to see the sketches. Like the sketches aren't always funny. So like I like how they just keep it to one side, like they're making a podcast, but you don't actually get to experience it. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
The next show I watch is on HBO Max called Love Life, season 2. So season 1 was about Anna Kendrick's character. Like each episode was 1 year in her life from college to adulthood, just dating different people and maybe dating the same person again as time has gone by until she eventually finds the one. So I've never saw season 2, but I was like somewhat familiar about it. But season 2 caught my eye because like the lead is the black guy from The Good Place. And
Never seen
so
it.
G.D. Anagonye.
sure.
That's
I've
his
never
character's name from The Good Place.
I've never seen it, but I know he's the black guy from The Good Place.
Oh, I love The Good Place.
So so it's a black guy who's getting divorced from his white wife, and him like navigating like, okay, I'm divorced now. What does my life look like? Him dating outside of his race, him dating inside of his race, like the kind of stuff that may come up if you were married to a white woman, and then maybe you start dating a black woman, and as there's some stuff that may come up about like, oh, so
You said this is season 2, right?
yeah, so each season I'm assuming it's going to be about a different character.
Okay, yeah, because I have a friend and he's going through a situation just like that. He's getting a divorce and he was in an interracial relationship too. So I'll have him check it out. Is it like a comedy or is
Yeah,
it like
it is a comedy.
cool? So if I see some stuff, I can make jokes about how his life is crumbling. I'm like, hey, see this episode? Is this what happened to you?
Right. So yes. Check out episode 3. This is your life exactly.
Right. That's what I want to do. Okay, I'll let him know.
So like it's about that, but like also like it touched on like just like just what is being black, right? So he is a editor for a book company, and a black guy, up and coming writer, comes in for a meeting, and like instead of like the whole like stuffy nose shake, our main character goes for like the dap, and the black guy's like, the fuck are you doing? Like, just shake my hand like a normal person. And like he's trying to connect to him as a black man, but he's like, I know what you're doing. Like, stop doing that. Like, you don't have to fucking play this part with me. Let's just get some business done. So like that whole like, how black am I? And that kind of shit. So like it's a pretty good little show. I would recommend it. Sadly, HBO Max only released the first 3 episodes of the 10 episode season. And so I have to get back to you on how the season, kind of balances out. Next up, we got Army of Thieves on Netflix. It's pretty good. It is the prequel to Army of the Dead. We actually reviewed that on the podcast with Chris a couple of months ago. This one is a heist movie, but without the zombies.
They keep it's the same character, like the bank,
the Ludwig or whatever. Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah. It's fun. Then on Paramount Plus, we got Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, or Paranormal Activity 7. I don't know if either one of you know this about me, or you audience, but I am a big fan of the Paranormal Activity movies. Not so much here for the scares, but like I like the backstory of them, like how they slowly like drip feed you what's happening, like why this is happening. And it all goes back to like some relatives of the lady from the very first movie. They sold their soul to like Satan, basically. And so now this spirit is haunting the family. It's a fun movie. Like, I mean, it's the same shit. Each movie is basically the same shit. Like, them carrying around cameras for too long in situations where you would have dropped that shit and they all die. It's the same shit, but it's just
spoilers.
You're just here for the scenario. But I will say that they did something that I thought was interesting, but then realized it was super fucking unnecessary. Like the movie opens and it says that it's March 2021. And then like there's a scene where they're at the airport and everybody's wearing masks. They're like, oh, I'm vaccinated. Are you vaccinated? Oh, well, when we get in the car, we don't have to wear masks together. And I'm like, okay, all right. I don't think I've seen any scripted media talking about like the current situation we live in. but then that had no bearing on anything else in the movie. Like when they got to where they was going, nobody was wearing masks, and it wasn't brought up in any kind of weird way. So I'm like, why even have that? You know?
Got you.
Yeah. The last thing I saw was Dune, the original one from 1984, and I am going to share my thoughts on that when we get into the movie review proper.
I was going to watch it, but I wanted to come in it with no expectations of anything.
See, I watched it after. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Wait, yeah. See, I watched it after I saw the movie, the new one.
I have seen a lot of people see this movie without any kind of familiarity with the book or the previous movie or miniseries, and I found that a little bit surprising to me. That so many people.
I mean, it's an old book though, Sharon. What? It's an old book. It's an old book.
It is, but I mean, I guess I knew a lot of people who knew the book very well growing up and were very fond of it. So I was surprised when I started going on socials and all these people were like, hey, I saw Dune. I didn't know anything about it. I was surprised how common that was.
Interesting.
How old was this book?
Yeah, we'll get into that when we get into it. There's one more thing I want to talk about.
Older than me.
So
I said older than me.
I'll say when it came out. We all saw the trailer for the new Cowboy Bebop live action Netflix show. And I'm somebody that's not really into anime. I've heard of Cowboy Bebop, but I've never seen it. And I'm really excited for this. And I was wondering what you all's thoughts were based on the trailer.
Oh, I was very intrigued because you've got sort of a futuristic take, but you also have this old school, slow jazz music, which kind of gave it a whole other feel. So I'm very intrigued. It reminded me of the video game L.A. Noire. I don't know if either of you ever played that.
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, and I loved that game. And I started sort of reminiscing, and these very moody lighting situations that were coming on screen had me very excited.
Yeah, it looks entertaining, but I've heard of Cowboy Bebop. I've never watched it. Then when I first heard about it, the live action, I was like, let me go. Man, I need to catch up on and watch the anime. And then I don't like the old 90s style anime. So I was like, I might not. But the live action looks good.
Yeah, when I first heard that they were going to make a live action Cowboy Bebop, I was like, I have no familiarity with this franchise, but I know Netflix's track history with making live action anime anything. And I'm like, this is going to be trash. And then I heard that they were casting John Cho, and it's like, how the fuck can you not like John Cho? And I'm like, why are you being something that I won't like, John Cho? I like you. But this trailer, and then there was a teaser that came out a few weeks ago where it was very inventive. I was like, I really need to see this show. So I'll be checking it out. And if I do like season 1, I will watch the anime. I'm putting it right here. I'm not going to hit the table. I will watch all of Cowboy Bebop if I like the live action show. I'm standing on it, Matt.
We're not going to let you edit this out.
I will stand on that statement. And cherry on top, I'll do it before the year's out.
Wait, how many seasons of Cowboy Bebop is there?
It's one. It's 24 episodes, 26 episodes.
Of the anime?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did my research before I made such a claim.
I thought it was more. All right. Well, if there hasn't been that many episodes, why is it so popular enough for them to make a?
I mean, I'm assuming it's one of those popular, just classic animes, like that, or Akira, or other things.
Yeah, that's true. It's only been one season, 98. Okay.
All right. So
One Piece, where there's 1,000 episodes of it.
Where do you even begin to adapt that?
Hey, man, there's different story arcs.
Right. And this week, we discuss Dune.
You inherit too much power. You have proven you can rule yourself. Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned.
My father rules an entire planet.
He's losing it.
He's getting a richer one.
He'll lose that one too. Arrakis is a death trap.
Kill him. This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one. What if I'm not the future of House Atreides?
If anything happens, will you protect our son?
With my life.
An animal caught in a trap will gnaw off its own leg to escape. What will you do?
Where the fear is gone, only I will remain.
Trash. Nah, I just want to get it out. I just want to see how it felt when I said it. All right, but nah, you go ahead, read your stuff.
The planet Arrakis, or Dune, is home to giant sandworms, the Furmen, the native inhabitants of the planet, and spice, a drug and fuel source for faster than light travel. The movie opens up with the governing family of Arrakis, the Harkonnens, being removed and being replaced with House Atreides. This is a ploy by the jealous emperor to destroy House Atreides since they have gained a lot of favor in the empire. Paul, the youngest of the Atreides, has an ability that allows him to command people with his voice, as well as future sight that shows him a version of the future. On Arrakis, House Atreides is attacked by House Harkonnen, and the Emperor's special forces aid in this attack. Paul's father dies. On the run for their lives, Paul and his mother are eventually accepted into one of the Furman clans as they hide out, regroup, and plan their attack. Sharon, what did you think of Dune?
I would never have been able to come up with a coherent summary. So I am so happy that that was your job, because when I was watching the film, I was sort of figuring these things out 20 minutes after they happened. So I felt like the movie didn't really expect you to be there without the knowledge. I felt like the movie was just like, well, y'all know what this is, so we're just going to show it. And we're not going to do that thing movies do where they tell you what's happening.
Yes.
That was one of my impressions.
So just for context, the original book Dune came out in 1965. So if you saw things that reminded you of, like, I don't know, Star Wars, then Star Wars was influenced by this book, not the other way around. I thought it was okay. It was a lot. They put a lot in here. I understand that, this is a lot of content, so they split the book in half. I don't know if I would have chose where they stopped the movie. Where they stopped the movie to have stopped the story. Like, I felt like we had such a high on the attack on the palace that we could have figured out a way to kind of end things there. I understand, like, we want to advertise this movie with Zendaya, and Zendaya doesn't show up until they meet the Furman. I get that, but I feel like it was kind of a downer note to end a movie on. Overall, the movie is okay. Like, it's one of those situations where I was visually stunned. Like, this director, everything he has made has looked absolutely beautiful. I've talked about it many times on this podcast. Blade Runner 2047, I believe it's called. It's like genuinely one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. Blade Runner 2049, sorry. Just like I said in the opening of the movie, just like we're looking at sand dunes, and my breath is just being taken away. Like, it looks absolutely beautiful. I feel like there were things set up that they were like, hey, we'll catch you on the second part of this movie, of this series. And so, like, my whole thing is like, while I felt like this movie was fine, knowing that this is half the story, I look forward to part 2 just so I could put it together to have a much more cohesive final thought on the movie.
Yeah, my take on it is, like you said, visually amazing. But now we got that out the way, let's get into it. So as I'm watching this, they're throwing out names and houses, and I'm like, is this Game of Thrones? What the fuck is going on here? So like that was the first thing I'm like, so what are we doing? So I was like, okay, paying attention. They got Batista's character because I only watched the trailer. That's the only information I have up there. So like you said, Zendaya, where's she at? Batista, where you at? So, but whatever, I'm watching it. Then, so they had their one people was over their country. They get them out. Yes, the emperor comes in and was like, "Hey, you take over there." So that's how they got there. But then the emperor attacked them.
No. See, that's not what happened. So the emperor had beef against fucking Oscar Isaac and company, right? Because he like.
So who? Okay, just to be clear, so I know who was the emperor.
We don't meet him. He's not in this movie.
So who was the fat dude?
That is the head of the Harkonnens. He's the head. He's basically the Oscar Isaac of the Harkonnens family.
That's why I think this movie failed to like orient you as you're trying to understand this stuff, because that's kind of useful information. Is the fat floaty guy the emperor? No. Or is he someone else who has his own set of motives that are going to help me understand what's going on? That's not a detail. That is not a detail that they just kind of left for us to discern. Yeah. And we're distracted by the fact that he's like really weird looking and floating. I believe I referred to that as the Uncle Fester clan.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it was just kind of confusing with the houses. It felt like this should have been like not a mini series, but it was like a TV show with where like you're given a lot of information, and like with a TV show, you get more time to process this information to where you're doing this with a movie. So yeah, especially like the stuff, the relationship with his mother and everything. So she has the voice, he's learning the voice, but the lady who came in,
the Reverend Mother,
the Reverend Mother came in, she has a voice, and what do they want out of this?
The time between recordings. I started the Dune book, the first book. I watched some YouTube videos, and I've watched like I said, the 1984 movie, right? So for me, I'm with you two. This information was not clear to me from what was presented. So I had to use outside resources to understand what the fuck was happening. All right. And so also a fun side note, when people went to go see the 1984 movie, they handed them like a little glossary so they could look shit up while they were watching the movie. So I just want to put that out there.
I always feel like a movie that needs a glossary has a problem.
Yeah,
like
right.
If I'm making a movie and I've got this script in front of me, and I'm thinking, oh, people will follow it because we'll give them something to read while they watch my movie. I am not okay with that, just for the record.
Or maybe they should have done a thing like Star Wars at the beginning, give a synopsis of like, because they could have started the movie when they first got to the planet.
You had Zendaya give a breakdown. Because she got a big paycheck and she was barely in this movie.
Right. They gave a breakdown of they gave a small breakdown of what happened, but it seemed, I don't want to explain this without going to my trademark yet, because we're gonna get there. I know that's what you guys are waiting on. Cosmetically, it was beautiful.
It's a gorgeous film.
It is.
Yes, they dressed up a 10, or what's the saying? They put a 20 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag, but they dressed it up nicely. It looked great, amazing visually, but you just put too much shit in this to where it was hard to comprehend certain stuff. And I'm just thinking about all the shit I don't like now, so we're just gonna get into it.
I'll explain as much as I can. I will explain the women if you want me to.
No, it's okay. So towards the end, or I guess it is at the end, where they meet up with what do you call it? The ferret. And the black dude was like, nah, I don't want, you're not the leader. Let's fight type of thing, right? Okay. And then when he got killed, I was like, look at your stupid ass. You died. You could have just went with him and everything will be fine. But you was trying to do some manly thing, and now look at you. You're dead. So like to me, that was like, what was the point of this? And wasn't in his vision, he said that that's the dude that was going to lead them.
Okay,
he's going to train them about the desert.
Okay. So
he was on drugs, right?
The spice, yes.
Yeah, that's why he was messed up in the head, right?
So so there's two theories about why Paul saw that man talking to him, but he ended up killing him. The first theory is that Paul sees a version of the future, of potential futures. And the second theory is that Paul was seeing that black guy through Zendaya's eyes in the past.
Okay.
But no, I do want to explain what's going on with the Bene Gesserit, the witch women. So their whole thing is also, this really wasn't even brought up in the movie, but apparently before the Dune series starts, this is in the prequel books, and it's also mentioned in the books, in Dune book, that basically they outlawed computers. And so they have like there was a techno war. So basically the Matrix happened before Dune. Yeah. So fun fact there. But anyway, so the Bene Gesserit, so for centuries they have been slowly trying to birth like their Christ-like figure. So like they've been trying to like make sure like these the Bene Gesserit women have sex with like men of stature, so that they could get power that way. And also, it wasn't explained in the movie, but the Bene Gesserit, they can decide which sex their babies are going to come out as. And so when the Reverend Mother had that line to Jessica about like, you had a fucking son, what the fuck is wrong with you? She was supposed to have a girl. Like she can decide what she was going to have, and she chose a boy.
See that this information would have been helpful if they would have provided it in a movie instead of you going on YouTube and doing all this extra homework.
It's also kind of irritating to me that like they're these powerful women with these like abilities, and their claim to fame is through having sex with the right men and then birthing the right person. Like that's a crappy way to be a witch. I'm glad they left that out.
You got one of the like a great ability, but then like your job is just to be the wife or whatever like that.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah.
This book was written in 1965.
Okay, you know what? That's no excuse, because The Feminine Mystique was published in 63. So
yeah, Frank Herbert wasn't reading that shit.
Yeah, just clearly.
All right, so go on, Matt. What else you got questions about? Or you as well, Sharon?
Well, no, one thing I did like, I liked their Dragonfly helicopters. I thought that was unique.
I thought that was cool until they were in the sandstorm, and I'm like, this shit is stupid.
Right, and then they were like, but I mean, I guess overall, I understood the plot of everything, but it was just like those details that we talked about and stuff like that would have been helpful to put a more complete picture together.
Right.
And also when it started, I didn't realize it said part 1. So as I'm watching it, like as I was watching it, I'm like, this movie kind of long. So then we paused it for a restroom break, and it was like 48 minutes left. I said, damn. So I'm like, okay. So as I'm watching it, blah, blah, blah. And then like, okay, so I'm like, yeah, they're about to get down with the get down. They got their group. They're about to do some stuff. And it ends. I was like this. I felt like it was like a TV show to where like, I shouldn't have watched this. I should have waited for the second part to come out so I can watch it together. And I also agree, like, they shouldn't have ended it there.
Right.
Like either like something like that, you end a TV show like that. You don't like a movie, you should end like
it needs to end on a triumphant high, or like a high, like
after a battle or something like that.
Right. Like shit, that the fucking castle got invaded and we barely fucking got out this motherfucker. Like we had to do so much shit to get out alive, and then it ends.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you rearrange it, and also make sure you get Zendaya in there so that the stands aren't too upset. But yeah, I agree. That wasn't the best place to end the movie.
So from the book and the first movie, how spot on and accurate is this movie?
So I didn't finish the book, and the book and the movie both did something I fucking hated. So in the book, like chapter 2 or 3, the Baron has this long ass conversation that essentially breaks down everything that happens in this movie that we just saw. He's like, here's my plan. I'm laying this shit out. Like the doctor, he's gonna betray these motherfuckers, and he's gonna do this, and we gonna do that. And I'm like, what? Why are you telling me this book? Like it opens like that.
But you didn't know that. You didn't know the movie was going to be about that.
No, I'm saying I saw this 2021 movie.
Oh, then you read the book.
Right.
Then it just explains everything.
Right. And then so like I started reading the book, and then I watched the 1984 movie, and like the first scene is some people, a third party, a whole other house talking to the emperor, and him and the emperor, like the emperor's like, all right, people, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the Harkins off Arrakis, right? And then we're gonna fucking bring those goddamn Atreides motherfuckers in. But they don't know is that they about to get fucking double crossed by me, the emperor. And I'm like, why are you explaining the 2021 fucking movie? Stop.
So then I guess it's 2021 movie's fault is if the other stuff is already explained everything, why wouldn't they just follow the book then?
No, what I'm saying is don't fucking tell me what I'm about to see unfold. Like I appreciate that from the 2021 book. Like it just flowed through. Like why would you tell me what's...
Oh, so when they told you what happened, they actually went in detail later on.
Right. So they both of them open by explaining what you're about to see.
Oh, I thought it was just basically did what I want to do, just give a synopsis and moved on. But no, they were like, hey, this is what I want to happen. And then we watched it play out.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I got you. No, that's stupid. Why would
exactly.
Yeah.
But so the 1984 movie, it basically covers the whole book. Like it skips a lot of shit, but also there's a lot of scenes that are very similar to what we saw. So yeah, I just feel like if you could fucking tell this whole story in 2.5 hours, what the fuck were you doing in this movie?
Have they already started filming the next one?
It
No.
just got the green light last week. They just officially said they're making part 2.
Right. Oh, that's right. Because we were actually, Sharon and I were actually talking about this after we finished the movie. They didn't film both at the same time because, like, Warner Brothers doesn't fully trust this director because he wasted a lot of money making Blade Runner 2049, and that shit did not make any money.
I will say the characters and the relationships in this movie I thought were very interesting, but they would talk about that for like 30 seconds and then go back to something else. Like the Duke is talking to Paul's mom and he says, I should have married you.
Right. And it's
And
like,
I really want to know about that, but nope. He's dead now. We're never going to know.
Or how about this?
There's a love story there.
Don't mention that. Don't bring that up. We don't fucking have time to think about this. We already assume y'all were married.
Yeah, like tell me why you're not married. Tell me why she's highborn, but not considered a legitimate partner for you.
Right.
Because that came up a few times. And I really want to know what's up with the crazy grandma.
Oh, the Reverend Mother.
The Reverend Mother, that would make a very good movie all by itself.
Also,
could have a story arc.
Funny you say that. Spoilers. The Reverend Mother is actually Jessica's mother. She doesn't know that.
Yeah, see, that is something that we need to get to explore. That is much more interesting to me than what I've watched.
So just a quick aside, this movie, so Blade Runner 2049 cost Warner Brothers $150 million and it made $92 million in America. So like they was like, you can make Dune, but we not giving you money to make 2.
Well, they clearly made the money because they said they'd make part 2.
I mean, no, what I'm saying is like, they were like, we're not giving you the money up front. Like, yeah. Granted, it costs more money to do it this way, to stop production and start that shit back up.
Yes,
but hey, What do we the common folk know, right?
Everything.
No, that's what I was about to say. It didn't make money for them to make another one. That's what I was about to ask. But
Oh,
yeah,
well,
okay.
let me look up Dune real quick. But I was just looking at that. That's the reason why he couldn't make both movies at once, because of Blade Runner.
As I'm thinking about it, I don't like Jason Momoa without a beard. He looks weird.
That looks so fucking weird.
That was
Yeah.
very, very odd.
Yeah.
That's another one who was not in there very much. He was technically in that movie, but
I mean, technically, his character does come back, even though he's dead. But I'm just saying.
I mean, it's another one where it's like,
They got cloning technology, but they can't fuck with robots. So this movie
they got
costs,
cloning technology
without computers.
Yeah. This movie
did
costs.
they wait, hold on.
The spice does everything. It's food,
Right.
it's a
Right.
spice, it's a drug, it's an energy.
Did I miss that? Did they say they can clone people?
Not in this movie.
Oh, so that's what's coming. I'm like, because now I'm thinking there's so much more stuff. Like, I know that the drug part was like, people was like, seeing things, but maybe I just need I need an after school class so they can give me all these details for all the shit I missed.
It's a lot. It's not that you missed it. It wasn't there.
I mean, they need to give me these details.
Is it supposed to feel like homework though when you go see the movie?
I mean, genuinely felt like I was racing the clock to make sure I had all my notes together before we recorded. So it's like, it's a lot. It's a fucking lot.
In a class about movies, is it supposed to feel like work?
No.
Right.
And even then, everyone took that class because all you do is watch movies in class.
I feel like that's the biggest failing of this. Like, I thought it was fine. I liked it better after I did some fucking research on it. But like when I first saw it, I was like, the fuck? Like, what? What are we doing? What did I just watch?
Like, maybe they need a thing like, Walking Dead, after Walking Dead goes off. Yeah, Talking Dead. Maybe they just needed something after this where people just ask questions and they give us the answer.
Chilling in the Dune.
Right.
So this movie cost $165 million. In America, it made $58 million. Worldwide, $241 million.
Okay.
But also the thing that was against this movie was the streaming.
Yep. I don't know how they measure that.
They
success.
really can't.
I mean, they've got to have some kind of a formula at this point. I mean, we've been at this how long now? These studios have got to.
I mean, if you
we
look,
can't be the first people to think of this. Come on now.
I mean, but if you really look at, like, Disney got sued over this. Like, you aren't really making money from streaming because, like, you're opening the floodgates to like piracy, or not even piracy. It's like, oh, hey, I have HBO Max, but you and Matt don't. So you guys come over my house and we'll all see it on my HBO Max instead of buying 3 movie tickets.
But there's got to be a way to assess, and then they would take the money from the streaming services.
But how much are you really taking? You taking fucking $10 a month? Like, what is like the royalties on that?
Services have to pay to get the title on their platform, right?
Yeah, but it's their movie. Like, that's the fucking problem. Like, it's not like a Netflix situation where they're licensing from other companies. Like, it's their shit.
Okay.
So I don't know. Any final thoughts before we hit trivia?
Nah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was trash. We don't need to go that far. But nah, it was an all right movie. I'll say it was a good, but confusing at times movie.
Fair. Sharon?
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wish they would have prioritized the things that I cared about, but they have source material to work with. And it was gorgeous. I mean, if you aren't sure what to do, watch it with the sound off.
Yeah, it is.
If you don't know what else to
beautiful.
do, turn the sound off, just look at it.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I'm with you too. Like, I feel like they could have done a little bit better job of explaining things for newcomers, but maybe this movie really wasn't for us. Yeah. So, what do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes is on Dune 2021?
60%.
75.
83% with a 90% audience score.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the loyalists coming out.
It is. A lot of people are red Dune.
Well, and I was talking to my sister about it, and I kept bringing all these character-driven questions up, and she said, "Well, you just got to read the book." And I was like,
Has she read?
I wrote books, and I'm in a movie.
Has she read the book?
Oh yeah.
Well, we could have had her on, Sharon. You're fucking up, Sharon.
Sorry.
All right.
Not sorry.
All right. All right. So, trivia question. There are 21 books in the Dune franchise. The first one was published in 1965. How many did the original author, Frank Herbert, write? A, 1, B, 6, C, 12, D, 20.
6.
1.
Matt, you're right with 6. Frank Herbert died in 1986. Beginning in 1999, his son Brian and science fiction author Kevin J. Anderson published a number of prequel novels, as well as 2 sequels that complete the original Dune series. Partially based on Frank Herbert's notes discovered a decade after his death. So that means they wrote like 15 fucking books after this man died.
Hey man, you can't stop the milk truck.
And you got to also remember they started in 1999. There's a book coming out next year. There's going to be 22.
So is this movie based off like part 1 and part 2? Is movies are based off just the first book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't read the book then.
Why not?
Because I'm not gonna watch the movie.
I mean, the movie's not gonna coming out for like another 2 or 3 years.
Well, yeah, just like when you had me read Harry Potter, and then I watched the movies. I was like, you're missing. No, you're not. No, and then I couldn't even like the last 2 movies I haven't even seen because after so I can't read the book because I'm gonna be disappointed in the movie.
Enough time has passed though to where you can watch those now, and you're gonna remember bits and pieces, but it's not gonna be as fresh and angry.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's knock this trivia dump out, and then we are getting out of here. The scenes on the ocean world of Caladan were shot in Norway. Much of the desert scenes on the desert world of Arrakis were shot in Jordan and Abu Dhabi in the Middle East. A spin-off prequel series titled Dune, The Sisterhood, was announced for HBO Max while the film was being promoted. Actor Timothée Chalamet was 23 when he played Paul Atreides, 2 years younger than Kyle MacLachlan when he played the same role in Dune 1984. In the novel, Paul is 15. The plot of the full 155 minutes of this movie is told in 98 minutes of the 137 minutes of the 1984 Dune, and in 104 minutes of the 270 minutes of the miniseries Dune that came out in 2000. So, yeah. They were not equitable with their time in this movie.
Excluding visually, is the plot better in 84 than this one?
It's a fucking mess, honestly. Like they shouldn't have did it. Like every single character has voiceover narration to try and get exposition out for the viewer.
Okay.
They did a fucking lot.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So Sharon, do you have anything that you would like to plug before we get out of here? And if you don't, it's okay.
No, I don't think I do.
All right, fair enough. Want to thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun. We all had some decent back and forth. So I appreciate you, Miss, taking time out of your Saturday evening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I got to hear Matt yell trash at the start of the episode, which was something I was looking forward to.
Sharon is a bit of they want. Sharon is a bit of a fan, so you know.
Yes,
I appreciate it. We finally get a fan on this is the first fan we had.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Used to Talk Pod. So catch us next week when we review The Harder They Fall.
I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if this was a bad episode, but whatever you think about it, just talk about it at work.